Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel, and welcome to the Ultimate Racing League for their Sunday evening challenge, Sunday evening league, whatever you want to call it, in the GR3 cars. We are with the elite drivers, the League of Champions. If you will know that though if you've been following me over the last few weeks. This week we have come over to Croatia, and we are at the fictional track of the Dragon Trail Seaside, and we are on the reverse track. So I've said it many times before, we don't reverse around the track, we are just going around the other way. That's all. So tricky track. This is the one with the chicane of death on it, although it's more of the chicane of severe injury this time around, because on the reverse it doesn't seem as tough as on the normal way round. But anyway, we'll come on to that shortly. Just before I get started, I just want to say special thanks to our sponsors, and that's w.gg. If you head over to their website and enter the code URL7, you may be looking at getting a bit of a discount on some of their products, so do head over and check them out. And our other sponsors for this season, and welcome on board guys, is EAC, that's Eldridge Air Conditioning. Great to have you with us. Now also briefly, if you do want to follow what's going on in the other leagues, and there are 5 of them. There's myself doing the League of Champions, as you know, because you're sitting here watching it. If you want to follow what's happening in League 1, if you head over to, these are all YouTube channels by the way, if you head over and check out Sean Daniels at Mystery Inc. Racing, Sean covers League 1. Ian is covering League 2, and he can be found at the URL Ultimate Racing League. Paul is covering League 3, and he can be found at URL_Paul_E72. And League 4 is covered by John, and he can be found on the YouTube channel Ruthless Rufus. So they're the other guys, the other commentators covering the other league, so do head over and check their channels out, and some great racing throughout all of the leagues. As I say, onto the track. We are at Dragon Trail Seaside, we're on the reverse layout, and 3.2 miles, 17 turns, basically a big triangle. As I mentioned, the chicane of death, as everybody likes to call it, on the usual way round. This time it is more the chicane of pain, because you won't actually die from it, although it will hurt. But it's not as bad this time around. Tyres for this race, it is a sprint race, it's 19 laps, so it's just soft tyres to be used. And we're in the afternoon, so it's going to be nice and warm, so we'll keep an eye on those tyres. There are no scheduled pit stops, so if the guys do come in, it is because they feel the need to refresh their tyres or get a splash of fuel, but they shouldn't need to. So the guys been out there, they've done 10 minutes of qualifying, so we'll run down the grid and have a look and see what positions they are in after their qualifying. And as you can see, on pole position we've got Derview 86. Let's get the right way around. There you go, that's better, we can see the car now. And you will have to excuse me, still coughing. Excuse me. So Derg is in pole position, Toby is in second, Neil Farmack is third on the grid, Bailey is fourth, Inky is fifth, Smith is sixth, Osman seventh on the grid, Fitzy is eighth, just behind him in ninth is Moz. Then we've got Toten. I did an interview with Toten during the week, and do head over and check that out. Very interesting to talk to Toten, really nice guy. Grasshopper in 11th, 12th is Paul, our fellow commentator, and Seamus Cash in 13th. So despite there being some sort of football match on today, we do have a fantastic turnout. So we'll get race 1 underway. As I say, it's 19 laps, roughly half an hour. So rolling start. So we shall get this race underway, shall we? $653 meters, that's straight from the exit of turn 17 up to the entrance of turn 1, as Dirk takes us down there now. Turn 1, a left-hander, Very easy to drift too far to the right and get yourself on the grass. Then we head down towards the tunnel, which then leads us into the chicane. So we're just going to follow Dirk through the chicane. Let's have a look, make sure everybody snakes their way through. And it looks like we have. It doesn't look like we've got any casualties just yet. As they head down towards turn 6, a very sharp left-hander. Again, very easy to drift to the right on that one and get yourself on the grass. Big runoff area, but even so, still very easy to come unstuck there. But everybody's still going in the right direction. Seamus Cash just falling off the pace a little bit, although he can make it up down this hill through turn 7, then on to 8 and 9. So Dirk still leading as we go through turn 12 and 13, heading towards another little bit of a chicane here. This left and right hander, 15 and 16 there, and then on to the big left hander, which is turn 17 to complete a lap. The start finish section is right at the end of the lap, so you think you're crossing the line, but there's still a few more meters to go. But Dirk takes us through, so that's lap 1 done. Toby's still in second. Bailey's made his way up into third. Neil Farmack in fourth. Everybody, of course, in the Lexus. This is a one-make challenge for the League of Champion guys. Inky and Smith running side by side. That's not going to end well. You can't go into the chicane side by side, or can you? Now then, was that a bit of a glitch there? But that was fantastic bit of racing between those guys. Let's just have another little look at that. So this is Smith and Inky. Oh yeah, I think Inky just backed off there a little bit. He realised that 2 of them aren't going to fit through that section. It's only a fool that would try that. So well done to Inky, just backed off, let Smith through, lives to fight another day. Very congested in there for 7, 8, 9, 10. Toten sitting in 8th. As they enter this downhill section through turn 8 and 9. Oh, Toten gets the pass done, so he moves into 7th now. Inky seems to have slowed down a little bit. I'm not quite sure what's happening with Inky, but he does seem to have slowed down a bit. Oh, as Moz gets a little bit of... Oh, Moz! Let's just take a look up the hill, over the crest, down the hill again. He's on the inside. I don't think there was contact. No, there wasn't. No, it's just a bit too keen on the accelerator. We've all done it. It's very easy to do there as well. Very unfortunate for Moz. Finds himself now down in 13th. So back up to our race leader, Dirk. Current fastest lap, a 1:44.0, well 1:39. I was just about to say that's going to come down dramatically. So 1:39.0, that's a fantastic lap from Dirk. Toby trying to stay with him though. He's doing a 1:39.1, so he is just a 10th off of Dirk's pace. Bailey sitting in 3rd, Neil Farmack 4th. As they fly through this chicane. Smith in 5th, sorry. Smith had a good outing last week at Brands Hatch. Currently sitting in 5th though, but long way to go in this race. Toten's moved his way up into 6th, so Toten having a great race so far. Shouldn't have said that, should I? Excuse me. You get the commentator's curse. Fitzy in 7th. He's got Osmond just behind him. Everybody's still relatively close in these early stages. Just trying to find the rhythm on this track. It is quite a flowing track. So once you get into your rhythm, there's Osmond trying to get as close as he can to Fitzy. Maybe make a run on him. Let's go on board with Osmond as we exit turn 17 onto this straight. As I said earlier, 653 metres of it. Great place for overtaking if you can get in the slipstream. Osmond couldn't get close enough. Fitzy trying to get right at the back of Toten, so he's got not only got Osmond to deal with, he's got trying to get by Toten. Excuse me. A little bit of a gap back to Inky, so Osmond not under any real pressure. You can see how close the guys get to that. Oh, maybe a little bit of a touch there from Osmond. Very easy done. You try and get as close as you can to the barriers on the entrance to that chicane. So let's just drop back and see what's happening a little further down. Paul in 10th. Paul got Grasshopper for company at the minute. Go up this slight hill over the crest and back down again towards this sharp left-hander. It's turn 6. Try not to get on the power too early and spin it out like Moz did at the early rounds. And then up to turns 8, 9 and 10, which is like this little chicane section. Again, very tricky. The curbs are very deep at this section of track, and if you get your wheels too far over the curbs, they tend to grab you and pull you around, so you do have to be careful. Now Paul is right up the chuff of Inky, has a look up the inside, makes his move, although he's going to be on the outside now. Can Inky hold on to that spot? He has got the inside line. It looks like he's going to make it. Excuse me. Paul still battling away. Oh, he's just had to slot behind. Couldn't quite get it done, could he? But that was a good effort from Paul. He's going to have to slot behind Inky now as they go into the chicane. Just sit back, pick his moment next time. Grasshopper just sitting on the back of these two. Then we've got Mars after his little spill at turn 6 earlier. Turn 12. So he's a bit off the pace, and then Seamus Cash is a bit further down, maybe not quite got to grips with this track yet. So back up to our current race leader, still Derg out in front. Smith now has taken that fastest lap, a 1:38.2. So Smith is on a charge. Toby definitely getting closer to Dirk. I'm not sure he's going to get close. He's definitely in the slipstream, but I'm not sure he's going to get close enough to make a move before they get to turn 1. He's just going to have to sit there again behind Dirk. Now, unless Dirk makes a mistake, Toby's going to have to follow him again for a good few corners, because, as I say, he's not going to get anything done before the chicane. But these two just inching away from Bailey. Bailey doing everything he can to keep up. Doesn't want to let them get too far away. Neil Farmack sitting there in 4th is the same. Doesn't want to let these guys get too far away from him. And we've got Smith in 5th. Smith, as I say, with the current fastest lap, so he's definitely on a charge. In the Monster Energy drink livery is Smith, teamed up with Bailey again for this season. we're just going to go on board and follow Smith round as he tries to catch Neil Farmack. Not near enough, is he, to Neil to do anything this time around, but he does want to try and stay in touch with these guys. Toten in 6, so Toten is having a good race so far, and you can see in the mirrors there he is getting closer to Smith, so Toten doing well. He's got Osman behind him. Now let's see how Smith takes this chicane close as he can to that first barrier on the left. I think he had to lift a little bit there. It'd be interesting to see which guys go flat out through there. I certainly can't do it. There's a Toten coming under a bit of pressure from Osman. Hear those tyres screaming as they go through that section, turns 8, 9 and 10. Excuse me. But as I say, everybody relatively close together still, so this is great racing so far. We're on lap 7. We've just got a couple of the guys at the back struggling now to keep up. As Grasshopper makes the move on Paul, but Paul still holding on to 10th. Grasshopper's not letting him have it easy though, is he? Now can Grasshopper get in the slipstream of Paul this time? He's not going to get there, is he? So around turn 1 they go for the 8th time. Grasshopper just sitting behind Paul. Now then, he is literally up the chuff of Paul now. Is he going to have a look before they get to the chicane? I don't think he will. Surely he's going to be, yeah, he backs out. Very, very sensible thing to do there from Grasshopper. Otherwise they'd both be in a mess, but he's still facing the right way, the pair of them, and Grasshopper can now try and pick his moment again. I have said it before, you don't need to be at the front to have a great race. You can have some fantastic battles in mid-pack. Oh, what's happened? We've got a spinner. Or have we? As Toby takes the lead, let's just see that again. That was a great move from Toby. Oh, Sturg gets himself on the grass. That's going to slow him up. He's got dirty tyres as well. Down the hill towards turn 12, and Toby just gets on the inside. Great clean move from Toby. Sturg will be kicking himself after getting on the grass. So now it's Toby's turn to do the defending, unless he can pull away. Bailey's still sitting there in 3rd. Really not letting these guys get away from him, is he? So Toby now our new leader on lap 9, so 10 to go. Or is it 11? I think it's 11, including this one. So let's just go on board with Sturg. We've got Toby just ahead. Bailey just behind. Sturg will still be, oh, and he's hit the barrier on the left there. That's going to let Bailey get right up alongside him. Bailey is actually all over him. Where's he gone? We've lost, there he is. Bailey hanging it all the way around the outside. What a fantastic move from Bailey. Sturg has not had a great lap and a half. In fact, let's just have another look at this move from Bailey. Dirk hit the barrier, and that's let Bailey get right up alongside of him and then all the way around the outside. What a fantastic move. Great racing from the pair of them. So Bailey moves up into second, Dirk drops to third. He will absolutely be cursing in the cockpit of that car. It was the mistake of getting on the grass that really started all of that. I think maybe lack of concentration, a bit of pressure from Toby, I don't know, but as a result, Dirk finds himself down in third, Bailey second, and Toby excuse me, Toby out in the lead. He's trying to pull away. He has got a little bit of a gap, couple of car lengths between himself and Bailey. Oh, as Bailey goes very deep into that turn on the back of that chicane. Now can Dirk capitalise on that? They are now side by side as they enter turn one. Oh, bit of a door kiss. Dirk's on the inside, Bailey having to go the long way round, but gets it done. So Bailey manages to hang on to second. So let's just drop down. Smith still sitting in fourth. Bit of a gap between himself and Dirk at the minute. Toten making his way through the pack steadily. He's now up into fifth. He's got a few car lengths then back to Osman. Seems to have just dropped off the back of Toten a little bit. But Osman currently sitting in sixth. Then we've got this battle, Fitzy and Inky for seventh and eighth. Inky pushing Fitzy along. Now is he can have a look as we go down the hill. Inky decides better of it. Slots in behind Fitzy again. He's just going to have to try and stay with him, maybe make a move when they get back onto the start-finish straight. Unless Fitzy makes a mistake, which is what Inky's hoping for, I'm sure. Down towards this final chicane. Like I said earlier, you don't want to get too far across the curbs here because they will just grab you and pull the car around. But both Fitzy and Inky did well there. Now Inky definitely in the slipstream. He's having a look, isn't he? So on board with Inky as they approach turn one. Inky makes his move, goes to the inside. Got to try and get that car slowed down. He's giving plenty of room to Fitzy and gets the move done, or does he? There's Fitzy. We lost him, didn't we? So Fitzy has gone through again, but oh, and Inky just has to back out again. Now that's a couple of times that Inky's just backed out going into the chicane. Very sensible, but it's cost him a place. But Inky's going to stay there with Fitzy and keep going. So let's just drop down and see how Grasshopper and Paul are getting on. Paul has managed to pull a little bit of a gap away from Grasshopper. So Paul in ninth. As I said at the beginning, Paul is a fellow commentator and is actually covering League 3 at the minute, or this season. And his YouTube is the same, has his name above the car there, so it's Paul E72. So do head over to Paul's channel and have a look at the guys in League 3. So Grasshopper in 10th, desperately trying to catch back up to Paul. He's got Moz just behind him. Neil Farmack down in 12th. It's not like Neil to be down in 12th, so he's obviously having some technical issues. He must be. There's something not right with the car. but it's not like Neil. He's either had a bit of a moment or he has got some technical issues. I'm not sure which. I'm sure he'll be on the radio to the mechanics and his engineers, having a chat with them, trying to get it sorted out. And then Seamus Cash down in 13th, not really got into this race, this first race. We have got another race coming up shortly, which will be later on tonight, so the guys will finish this race, go off, have a bit of a sleep, some dinner, and then they'll be back out again when it's a little bit darker. Great. You know how much I love commentating on the night races. But Toby still out in front. Bailey a couple of car lengths behind, not letting him get away. Derg still sitting in third, still reeling from that mistake earlier on, which pushed him down to third. Toby now with the current fastest lap, a 1:38.0. That is a fantastic time around here. Smith still currently in fourth, and Toten right on the back of him now. So Toten has got about 6 laps if he wants to try and take that fourth spot away from Smith. We know how quick both of these guys are. If you saw the interview with Toten, he was telling us that he uses a controller, and one of the drawbacks to using a controller is the punishment that the tyres get. But I'm looking at his tyres now and they don't look too bad. In fact, if anything, I would say Smith's tyres are slightly worse. So Toten doing a good job of looking after his tyres. Getting a little bit squiggly there, but he's still going. Still quite tight racing. Everybody's still relatively close to each other, which is great to see. Fitzy and Inky having a little fight there for 7th position. Excuse me. Paul currently in 9th, with Grasshopper not that far behind in 10th, and Moz sitting just behind him in 11th. Let's just see if Moz can get close enough to Grasshopper. I don't think he's going to do it. Excuse me. Got a wide track, this one, so overtaking's not a massive issue. It just depends whether you can get close enough. Now, as I say, all the guys, as you can see, are in the same car, the Lexus RCF, I think it's called. I use it myself in my league and I still don't know what it's called, but it is a Lexus. So all the guys have got the same car, so there is no advantage as far as power goes, what they've got under the bonnet. So it does come down to driver skill. Neil getting a little bit closer, I think, to Moz. Although we are on lap 14, so I don't think Neil's really going to get much out of this race. As I say, he's must be having some technical issues. And then we've got Seamus Cash still battling away down in 13th, or no, not having a fantastic time of it at the minute. Whether Seamus Cash is having some problems as well, that car is really fighting him. It looks like he's having a bit of a struggle with it, so there could be some sort of steering issue. I'm not sure. So back up to our leader, Bailey seems to have got a lot closer now to Toby. Toby still going strong, still holds the current fastest lap. Oh, and there we go, the commentator's curse. I'm sorry, Toby. not altered track position at the minute, but it has allowed Bailey to get closer. Let's go on board with Bailey as we go down the hill through this sort of S section, through turns 8, 9, 10. Trying to stay off the grass on the left hand side, down the hill, hard on the brakes for this left hander, turn 12. Little kink in the road, 13, up towards this chicane through turns 14, 15 and 16. Like I said, trying not to take too much of the curb, left or right. And now if you could get a good exit through turn 17 onto the straight, this is where you can make the ground up. Quite a gap back to Dirk, so it is Bailey can just concentrate on getting as close as he can to Toby. Toby just getting a rear tyre on the dirt, no harm done though. Maybe just trying to blind Bailey a little bit. Through the chicane, Bailey choosing to drop it down a gear. Some of the guys will take that in 5th, but maybe the dirty air. Oh, now then, has Toby gone too wide? Bailey saw an opportunity and tried to take it, but Toby managed to get himself back on track. Bailey having a look up the inside this time. These two battling away. All the while they do that, Dirk can get a little bit closer, stay off the grass, and he does. So Dirk is creeping back up to that bumper of Bailey's while Bailey's battling it out with Toby. Excuse me. Now Toten has managed to get past Osman. Now let's just go back a little bit and see if we can find where that happened. No, we've got to go too far, so I'm sorry I missed that. But Toten has now moved up into 4th. Osman 5th. Then we've got Fitzy in 6th. We're on lap 16 of 19. Fitzy all on his own now. He's under no real pressure. Inky in 7th. He can see Fitzy ahead of him, but he can't get close enough. Excuse me. Paul now in 8th. With Grasshopper and Moz fighting it out for 9th. Let's go on board with Mars. He has a quick look up the inside. Has he got it done? I think he has. Yes, he has. So great move by Mars to take 9th position away from Grasshopper. Grasshopper's just going to have to sit behind him, isn't he, as they go through the chicane. Now let's see. I was going to say let's see if Mars goes down, but he didn't. He took that in 5th. Nice and steady through turn 6. So great move from Moz to get up into 9th. Grasshopper now finds himself in 10th. Neil Farmack made his way up into 11th. On Smith. Now what's happened to Smith? He was 4th or 5th, so he must have had a major moment. Excuse me. And I'm sorry we missed that, but Smith has found himself all the way down in 12th, so I can only imagine that he's had a bit of an issue, maybe with the chicane. That is unfortunate for Smith. Soon to be starting lap 18, and he finds himself down in 12th. Excuse me. Seamus Cash in 13th. So now Bailey's took the lead. Now I'm definitely going to go back and find what's happened there. And so Toby out in front, Bailey just behind. Now did Toby have an issue as well? Through turn 12, Toby, oh he has, oh Toby, what? Let's just go back and have a look. I was rooting for him as well, but he's got himself on that right hand curve and just couldn't get off. Excuse me. And fighting to get the car back on track, and that's allowed Bailey and Dirk through. That was so unlucky for Toby. Oh, and again, dirty tyres, it's causing him all sorts of problems. We've got Toten sitting in fourth. There is a bit of a gap there, so Toby just needs to take a bit of a breath. Get himself refocused and get back on it again. That is so unlucky for Toby. So out in front, Bailey, he can now charge away. Dirk sitting in second. We are on lap 18 of 19, so 2 laps including this one left. It really has been a race of mistakes, and it's one slight error and it costs you, as Dirk found out earlier on in the race, and then Toby has just found out coming towards the end of the last lap, which has pushed him down to third. I mean, third is nothing to be ashamed of, but when you were leading like he was, he will be kicking himself, I'm sure. Doesn't want to make the same mistake again. Nice and smooth that time. That's exactly what he wanted last time out. So Toten down in fourth. Now Osman has caught back up to Toten, so Toten could find himself under a bit of pressure now from Osman. Maybe Toten's took his foot off the gas a little bit, literally. Maybe he's got an issue, but Osman is definitely onto the back of him. Osman, with his last lap was a 38.5. So as they go across the start-finish line, start lap 19, Osman is going to be pushing Toten all the way, it looks. He's not going to do it as they enter the chicane, but if he can get a good exit and get down towards turn 6, he might be able to make a move at turn 6. We'll just stick with these guys just as they head down towards turn 6. You can see Osman going the long way round. Is he going to look for the cutback? I think Toten was wise to that, although Osman is right up the chuff now. Up this slight hill and then down the hill through this section. I'm going to have to leave these guys in a minute to go back up to our leaders, but these two are having a proper fight now. So let me just go back up to Bailey as he goes through or down towards the final chicane for the last time in this lap. If Bailey can just keep it on track through these turns, and he can, it looks like Bailey's going to take the win. He will be pleased with that. Dirk comes across in second, so well done to Bailey, gets the win. Dirk is going to take second, got to be pleased with that. And Toby in third, very unlucky for Toby. Toten and Osman having a fight to the line, and Toten just gets it from Osman in fifth, Fitzy in sixth, Inky seventh. Then there is quite a gap then back to Grasshopper, who's going to come across the line in 8th, Neil Farmack in 9th, or is it going to be Smith? It is Neil, and then Smith in 10th, Paul 11th. Then we've got Moz is going to come across the line to take 12th, with Seamus Cash is going to take 13th. Well, that was race 1 here in Croatia at the Dragon Trail Seaside reverse layout. Join me again shortly for race 2. It's going to be later on this evening, so as I say, the guys are going to go off and have a little bit of something to eat and a sleep, and they'll be back out for the race later on tonight, as we're just following Seamus Cash as he crosses the line to take 13th. So well done, guys. I shall catch you all later on.